All right. Hey all, Tom here. Welcome back to the first vlog and episode of the M3 project of 2026. This is a good one. So the car is nearing completion and we're actually doing not just aesthetic stuff, but we're also doing some maintenance stuff and a little bit of performance. More on that later. So let's begin with all of the updates. So I think we left off, we were talking about hood vents and stuff like that. So we've got some more pictures here of the hood vents actually being put in. You see all the tape lines and stuff like that. It being installed, riveted in. The rivets I think get taken out and everything kind of gets bonded together. Some paint work gets done and kind of simple bodywork stuff. You got this cool, funny cutout through the hood where you can see, I believe that's a Laguna Seca Blue M3. I'm not sure. That's what they look like. You know, fully installed. Got some cool story posts. The car's looking really, really cool. We got the rear fenders and the rear bumper looking nice and flush. I kind of like the fitment. It could be just me. I know we're thinking spacers. Maybe that's what the spacer's on. He didn't actually say. But I just think that fitment looks really, really cool. Because on race cars, you don't have it perfectly flush, right? You have it kind of tucked in a little bit for performance reasons, I guess. Also, by the way, I'm in my room right now because my office is also my parents' room and they're in town. So I'm just going to use my room. So you guys are sitting on the edge of my bed and I'm chatting with you this way. So I hope the microphone on the camera is working okay. That's why my lighting is also just fantastic. It's because I'm using a 10-plus-year-old lampshade, probably more like 15, 20 plus. This nice wide shot of the car where you can see the fenders, the rear bumper, the wheels are kind of in there. The wing's not on there yet, but we'll get to that. I can't believe that's my car. It's crazy. So now we've got, they're installing all of the reinforcements for the GTR wing. So interesting thing that you may or may not know about wings and spoilers and stuff like that. These days on race cars, the wings are kind of more mounted to the chassis or the frame, however you want to put it. But back then, it would be more so attached to the trunk lid or something like that. And there'd have to be like reinforcement and stuff. Now in the real M3 GTR race car, all the reinforcements are like carbon fiber and stuff, but we're just welding stuff in there because I didn't want to get a carbon trunk because I wanted to use OE stuff as much as possible. That's why we just cut the hood vents into the OEM hood because we knew the fitment would be good and it would just work. So we're reinforcing the trunk for the uprights on the wing and all that good stuff. We've got a clip of what the front of the car looks like without the bumper on. The wheels look so good and you can see like the radiator fan and stuff, and you have like all like the mounting systems and stuff for the front bumper looking good on there. Now we've got some clips of them cutting into the rear trunk so that they can start installing the wing uprights. They're doing all the welding and cutting and sticking everything together. They had to remove all of that plastic padding and covering on the inside of the trunk because it was in the way, obviously. I guess they also, because of the side exhaust, they also had to replace the seatbelt like mount attachment thing. So that's in there again. Now here's the cool thing. We all know the straight cut gear sound, right? The reason why most people like straight cut gears or even know about straight cut gears these days is because of the Need for Speed Most Wanted M3 GTR. Now there's a few ways to get that sound. It's really, to do it right, you need to get multiple things to get that cool gear sound. And I didn't know this until recently. So this isn't in any of my how to make the M3 GTR videos. So obviously, straight cut gears in some kind of racing transmission, whether it's a dog box or a sequential, straight cut gears is part of it. It's part of the symphony. But another important instrument of the orchestra is apparently the diff and the rear subframe and the bushings. So apparently, if you replace the subframe and diff bushings with solid bushings, you get noise, vibration, and whatever H stands for in NVH. You get this really cool gear whine sound, which actually sounds like the M3 GTR. So I realized, oh, it's a combination of multiple things that's making that sound. because you'll notice that like some straight cut gear transmissions kind of sound close. You can kind of hear it, but it's not that loud. But then the diff bushings, that's loud and sounds like an M3 GTR. So I went to CMP Auto Engineering, which is in Australia, apparently. I didn't even know that when I ordered it. And I got their E46 M3 solid differential bushings, or bushes, and the E46 solid subframe raising bushes. And now, Tom, you have an E46 M3. If you do that, you're gonna tear up your rear subframe. Well, that's where you're wrong. The good news is that the reason why I even decided this was worth doing is because we're doing the big three. We are going to be doing the Vanos, the rod bearings, and the rear subframe, and the brakes, and all that stuff too. And while we're doing the rear subframe reinforcement stuff, we're gonna change the bushings. Which means, for version 1 of the M3 GTR on this channel, when we're driving around, we're gonna get some of that M3 GTR gear sound, just right away. So that's gonna be super, super sick. I got some cool clips of them doing the Vanos and the cam timing and all that sort of stuff on another M3. It's a really insanely involved process. It's remarkably overcomplicated. I'm glad they're doing that. They're putting all the reinforcement plates in for the rear subframe and all that stuff. So that'll be cool. Even the later model cars need that. Even though they kind of updated the rear subframes for the the 05 and 06 cars or whatever, the reinforcement plates and all that stuff is just, it's still super necessary. Here's some more pictures, most recent ones of the M3. We've got the fenders, the front. I asked them to put the bumper on just so we could see what it looked like from the front. Man. You can also see P1 Racing's car in the background with his center lock wheels. I'm so proud of my wheel choice, man. Those wheels, I like black wheels. And that two-tone with the chrome, it just looks so cool. I think it's actually polished aluminum. It's not actual chrome, but same effect. You can see the wing uprights there. Jeez, dude. I'm just falling in love with this car all over again. It's just my favorite car. The M3 has always been #1 for me. Well, no, that's a lie. It was the R34 GTR, and then I saw the M3, and it blew the R34 out of the water. End of story. The R34 is next. But, yeah, with this awesome picture of the M3 with the wing uprights, not the actual wing blades, deck yet, and side plates, those aren't on there yet. We're getting close though. That's it for now. So what's left? So there's a couple things to button up, I think, with the hood. Got to put the rest of the wing on. Paintless dent repair on a few things so that when we wrap over it, it looks good. Everything needs to be mechanically perfect. So the brakes, all the service stuff need to be taken care of. And then that's it. I can actually tell PFS, hey, sorry for the delay, but the car is immaculate and ready to go. Ready to go for another 100,000 miles. So that is the M3 GTR update. How long has this video been? Yeah, 12.5 minutes. I don't want to make it too long. That's where we're at. The M3 is coming along very nicely. It's gonna be super soon. And furthermore, when I reveal it, so there's gonna be the reveal video where I do a walk around and show everything on the car, but then, by the way, I'm going to California to do this, so when the car is done, I'm gonna go to California, it'll get unveiled, and then me, a guy with a really clean Mostwanted M3 GTR replica will be there. A gentleman with a very clean, I believe, Sonic Silver R34 GTR will be there. A gentleman who owns a 991 GT3 RS and a McLaren 570 will be there. Who knows which car they bring, either or. He should be there. He's not confirmed, but he should be there. And we're going to visit Fast and the Furious film locations. I'm thinking Toretto House, the Market, the Final Race location, and like Dodger Stadium, or like the place where like Johnny Tran gets killed. If you guys can think of a better location though, like maybe it would be cooler to go to, what is it called? The Hong Kong Garden or something like that? Like the place where Johnny Tran's crew shows up. You let me know what would be a cool location to go to with the M3 GTR, and we'll go there. Would love to hear some suggestions. I made a video about all the locations. I'll put a link in the description and in the comments, and you guys can watch it, and you guys can pick, you know, which places would be cool to go to. But at the very least, final race location and the market and the house. By the way, I think the next movie is going to be called Fast Forever. That's what I heard. Weird. Anyways, I'm Tom the Racing Joker. Thanks for following the series thus far, and the car, it's going to be so cool. Super duper cool. Anyways, seek peace, everybody. Bye.